Standoff in the South China Sea. Philippine and Chinese vessels face off at Pag-asa Island. That's the headline flashing across television screens in Manila this morning. But here, on Pag-asa Island, the news is not just a story, it's a daily reality. The sky is still dark blue, but already, the rumble of engines can be heard along the shore. Fishermen glance nervously at the horizon. Just beyond the surf, silhouettes of Philippine Coast Guard cutters hold their position, metal hulls gleaming in the sunrise. But farther still, larger gray shapes lurk, the shadowy outlines of Chinese patrol ships. Some are close enough for binoculars to make out the painted numbers. Others, disguised as fishing boats, seem to drift but never leave. Tension fills the air. The sound of radios crackling in Tagalog and Mandarin mixes with the cries of seabirds. Every day begins with a question. Will it be safe to fish? Will supplies come in? Will there be another confrontation? For the people of Pag-asa, the standoff is not just on the water, it's in every conversation and every plan. As the sun rises higher, life goes on, but every movement is watched, from the sky, from the sea, and from the world beyond. Pag-asa's struggle is now the world's concern, a tiny speck of land at the center of a storm. Pag-asa Island is not just a strategic outpost, it's also home to around 200 Filipinos, families, teachers, and soldiers. Every day they wake to the sound of the sea and the knowledge that they live on contested ground. Their lives are a blend of ordinary routines and extraordinary pressures. Children go to school, their classrooms painted in bright colors. Teachers lead lessons under fluttering Philippine flags. But outside, the world is watching. A drone flies overhead and foreign ships linger off the reef. Every food delivery or medical evacuation depends on the weather and the willingness of ships to run the gauntlet past foreign patrols. The local government tries to keep life normal. There is a small clinic, a concrete airstrip, and solar panels for power. But the uncertainty is always there. Residents know they are symbols. Their presence gives weight to the country's claim. Every birthday, every wedding, every ordinary day on Pag-asa is also a reminder. The world is watching. In the larger geopolitical game, these daily routines matter. The people of Pag-asa are not just living on the front lines, they are the front lines, and their resolve is tested every single day. Pag-asa Island is part of the Spratly archipelago, a scattering of reefs and sandbars in the South China Sea. To the Philippines, it sits firmly within its 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, as set out by international law. The island is about 480 kilometers west of Palawan, the country's westernmost province. Legal arguments hinge on these distances. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea gives coastal states rights over waters within 200 nautical miles. For the Philippines, Pag-asa is not just close, it is essential. But China claims nearly the whole sea, drawing a 9-dash line that sweeps deep into Philippine waters. Chinese vessels insist their presence is legal, citing ancient maps and historical rights. These competing claims make every inch of water around Pag-asa a potential flashpoint. Maps are not just lines on paper here, they are boundaries that decide who can fish, who can build, and who can live in peace. For the people on Pag-asa, international law is more than an idea, it's a lifeline. As long as these claims overlap, every day on Pag-asa is a test. The law may be clear, but enforcement is anything but simple. Unlike most other claimants in the Spratlys, the Philippines has built a real community on Pag-asa. Families have lived here for decades. There's a mayor, a barangay hall, and even a tiny church. People plant gardens, raise chickens, and celebrate festivals just like anywhere else in the Philippines. The presence of civilians is more than symbolic, it's strategic. By encouraging families to settle, the government shows the world that Pag-asa is not just a military outpost, it's a living town. Teachers and health workers are posted here, often far from home to keep the community going. Even when storms hit or supplies run low, most people choose to stay. For the children, Pag-asa is home. They play by the water, chase hermit crabs, and sometimes watch the ships through old binoculars. Their laughter can be heard over the sound of distant engines. For their parents, every day is a small act of defiance, a reminder to the world that this island is not abandoned. Living here is not easy, but the people of Pag-asa know their presence matters. In the chess game of the South China Sea, they are both pawns and protectors. The Philippines does not just rely on ships and soldiers, it uses law, administration, and community to make its case. Unlike other claimants, Manila insists that Pag-asa is not just a military base, but a real functioning barangay, complete with local government and regular elections. Civil administration is a crucial part of the Philippines strategy. Officials visit regularly, delivering supplies and holding town hall meetings. Infrastructure projects like the new pier and the airstrip are not just for defense. They are meant to improve life for residents and show the world that Pag-asa is a normal part of the country. By focusing on law and civil order, the Philippines draws a line between itself and its rivals. China's projects are mostly military or scientific outposts, built on reclaimed land. Vietnam, Malaysia, and Taiwan also maintain military garrisons, but few have anything like Pag-asa's civilian population. In international forums, Manila often points to Pag-asa as proof of its peaceful intentions. Here, the law is not just about power, it's about people. But peace is fragile. The Spratly Islands have become one of the world's most militarized zones. China has led the way, building runways, radar domes, and missile batteries on artificial islands. Fiery Cross, Mischief, and Subi reefs are now fortresses, bristling with sensors and weapons. Other claimants have responded. Vietnam has expanded its outposts, adding gun emplacements and shelters. Malaysia and Taiwan have reinforced their claims with troops and structures. The Philippines, while less militarized, has also upgraded its facilities on Pag-asa, paving the airstrip, building new docks, and increasing patrols. This arms buildup means every encounter can escalate fast. A single misunderstanding over a patrol or a fishing boat can spiral into conflict. The presence of so many ships, planes, and missiles makes the South China Sea a powder keg. For the people of Pag-asa, the reality is stark. They live surrounded by military might, with the world's great powers watching their every move. Daily life on Pag-asa is shaped by risk. Supply ships are sometimes blocked or harassed by foreign vessels. Fishermen report being chased off by water cannons or threatened by loudspeakers in Chinese. Even simple tasks, fixing a roof, going to the clinic, can be interrupted by the sudden appearance of patrol boats offshore. The military presence is constant. Soldiers and Coast Guard crews rotate in and out, keeping watch day and night. Drills are regular, and everyone, kids included, knows where to go if something happens. Yet, despite the stress, local people find ways to cope. They share stories, play music, and hold fiestas as often as they can. Resilience is not just a word here, it's a way of life. People have learned to live with uncertainty, to adapt and endure. The school remains open, the store keeps its shelves stocked, and the town hall continues to fly the Philippine flag. This spirit of endurance may be Pag-asa's greatest defense. The people refuse to be driven out no matter how tense things become. In 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled in favor of the Philippines. The decision declared that China's sweeping claims in the South China Sea have no legal basis under UNCLOS. The ruling also affirmed Manila's rights to the waters and features within its exclusive economic zone, including Pag-asa. But the victory is incomplete. China has rejected the ruling, continuing its activities in disputed waters. Diplomatic efforts have tried to ease tensions, sometimes with success, often with frustration. The Philippines relies on international partners, especially the United States, to back its claims and deter aggression. Yet, the law is not just a shield, it's a tool for persuasion. Every time Manila raises the Hague ruling, it puts pressure on Beijing and reminds the world of what's at stake. The fight for Pag-asa is not just about territory, it's about upholding international law. As long as the legal dispute continues, diplomacy remains the first best hope for peace. Recent months have seen new escalations. Chinese vessels have used water cannons on Philippine resupply boats. Coast Guard ships shadow each other, maneuvering dangerously close. The Philippines has protested, while the United States has increased patrols and promised support under the Mutual Defense Treaty. The stakes are high. A single miscalculation could spark a broader conflict, drawing in allies and rivals alike. Yet, amid the tension, the people of Pag-asa hold fast. Their endurance is a message to the world. This island is worth defending, not just for its resources, but for the rule of law and the hope of peace. Multilateral talks continue, but uncertainty lingers like a storm on the horizon. The Philippine flag still flies over the barangay hall, battered by salt and wind but never taken down. It is a symbol of hope and a reminder that the future of Pag-asa and the South China Sea remains unwritten. For now, life goes on, and the world watches, waiting to see what tomorrow will bring.